Alright legends, so here we are, fucking. We're just going to go through our quiver and we've got a lot of questions from everyone, haven't we? We've had a shitload of questions and everyone asking what do we use, what's good to start with. Going from beginner boards to intermediate boards to pro boards to top end pro boards. So a bit of a look at what we got and
yeah, go through what we think and let you all know the pros and the cons of each one we think and feel. And we've got a goofy and a regular rider, so it's good. We've got different opinions. We'll start with our first board.
Well, we actually jumped straight in and we bought one of these redback biohazards. So as far as we can say,
very little board.
They're strong, don't get us wrong. They go over a shitload of rocks and they don't really damage put holes or anything like that. They're definitely a kid's board. Probably would definitely not buy this unless you're under the age of probably 8 or 9 years of age.
Yeah, I was going to limit it at 10. So
it's very, they're very small. They're extremely flimsy. I can bend these right now if I really wanted to. But so this is a redback biohazard. Wouldn't recommend it as a starting board unless you're definitely a small person.
Price range was around 220 bucks on it, 30 bucks.
Yeah, well, I guess that was the tempting point for us. We saw a skimboard at $200 and we went, oh shit.
And they were local. They were local for us, so they were easy to get.
We didn't really know. When we bought this, we had no idea.
The Vic Foamy, as you've seen in the vlogs, this one has done us very, very well. Unfortunately, I snapped mine. We didn't end up getting that on camera either, which was unfortunate. Yeah, it was a bit of a silly move by me too. It would have been a really good don't.
Yeah, we also think when Jace hit this wave, he came in with both feet front on as the wave came in. So number one, it was a lot of pressure, but on our first day taking these out, we didn't have a lot of knowledge on you shouldn't be riding over rocks.
Yeah.
And Jace actually put a massive hole in his, and the rock he hit was of significant size. It wasn't just your little pebbles. No. Because I've ran over a lot of pebbles on this, and these are beginners that ran over rocks, and it's just got your standard marks. Yeah. Standard marks, a couple of little dings, but I've just repaired the rail and chips along the way, and it still stands the test of time.
These were fantastic. Actually, I miss my board. I wish I could ride it still sometimes. But yeah, no, these are great. Absolute perfect beginner board.
They turn well. I mean, they don't turn hard because they've got a wider end. They're still a pintail, but they've got a wide from center out. They're a 5/8 thickness, so they've got a lot of foam in them. So for distance, this thing will carry you out, no problems at all. So if you're in Australia, Surf Sail, we'll put the link in the description. Those guys have been a massive help to us ever since we started day one. So massive shout out to Surf Sail, Digby and all the management out there. If you're gonna go online and look for a board, this is definitely the cheapest price point, and this thing still stands the test of time.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, strong and sturdy.
Victoria Foamy, big thumbs up.
Big thumbs up.
Key tip, you'll probably see a lot of our boards over this, so shout out to Powerglade for reaching out to us about this, but traction is game changer. If you don't have traction and you run wax and you haven't tried a full board with traction, try it.
It'll change your life.
It'll change your game.
Yeah, no, it'll change your life. It really will.
In comparison to, for example, Ryan's got a carbon board where he just runs a bit of wax and a couple of little pads. I can't ride the thing because I just don't find there's any grip there under my feet. Jace tends to get on it a bit, but he's got a bit more weight to him, I suppose, as well, which is a big helping key.
Yeah.
But yeah, traction is key. So the EXOs are pretty similar to the Vic Foamy. They do come in a 3/8 and a 5/8 taper though. This is Ryan's board. That's Lockie's board. So the boys are two different weights. Lockie's heavier, so he went for a 5/8. Has a lot more carry than the 3/8 until you have balance, until you have speed. But these are great boards. I didn't particularly like it when I first started learning and I got on it. I preferred the Vic.
Yeah.
But
they just seem to have a little bit more float, the Vics. Yeah. But these do compromise, and have a little bit more speed. Yeah. I find these do have a little bit more speed as a beginner board, but I prefer the Vic with the float. So that's why I was actually much happier with the foamies. But these are a great beginner board. There's no,
These are awesome.
Yeah, they are.
They don't stand the test of time, and as far as
little rocks and pebbles.
They're not as forgiving. They tend to bust the outside a lot easier than the Vic Foamy. you just do your repair jobs as you go, and you can keep the board forever going. This is Ryan's sort of setup, so he runs the wax and arch bar. For a beginner, if you're saving cash, I mean, you can just get the standard setup. Let's Party Traction have an awesome front deck system, which I absolutely froth on the Vic. Yep. We're probably going to start using a lot more of them, but as far as the EXO setup, another big thumbs up. Price point, they're a little bit more expensive than the Vic, $100 more.
Around that, yeah.
But obviously you got a wider colour choice range. You can go a 3/8 or a 5/8 taper, and they have the same amount of sizing. So for kids, you can get kids on one of these. I think they have another beginner board out as well for kids, which are smaller again, at a lower price point.
Yep.
But yeah, for a beginner, either this one, indefinitely, or the foamy, indefinitely. From our choice again, we personally go foamy, but these are awesome. So shout out to Exile for putting these together at a good price.
Alrighty! Alright, so it's the EX2. Once again, this was from AJ. Big shout out to him again, because this is a great board. It's served the test of time for us again. It's really, really quick. The first drop I had on it, you will all probably laugh.
Flare a cooter! Flare a cocker, see how he goes.
Oh! Main reason I found was that it was a lot quicker under my foot. Even on the sand, if you go from a beginner board, which I still recommend to do, I know it sounds like you're going to be spending a lot of money but if you start on one of these, you are honestly going to be spending 12 months trying to figure out how to get on the board. Because they're so much harder and so much harder to balance on. And if you've never surfed or gone near the water before and you're just starting out with this, honestly, unless you're into board sports, if you're into board sports, I understand, you'll probably pick it up a lot quicker. But once again, it is a lot of money to outlay straight away for a sport that you might not like. So always, guys, keep in mind that the beginner boards are there for a reason. In saying that, yeah, very, very, very good board. This is my second favourite. Fishtail, not a pintail. So I find it's a lot better in the water for evening out my balance when I carve around, because I tend to turn really quick. And if I do it with it on the pintails like I would this, I lose the pintail in 360, whereas this has helped me learn the turn, I feel, a lot quicker, because it drags in as you come around. You've got that extra point to drag into the water and just help balance the board out a bit. So I find it's really good. It's still got quite sharp edges. It does glide across the water quite well. It's quite quick. This isn't carbon either. This is only fiberglass because it's the EX2. Barracuda shape, yeah. So
exactly the same.
It's the exact same, exactly. So, but once again, I really enjoyed the extra weight for the wind. So yeah, she's been a good board. If you put too much weight sometimes with these Exiles, because they are shaped so sharp, which is a good thing because it gives you more speed and glide and etc. Right? You compromise a little bit with digging into so if you're not as good with your balance, they are harder to ride and harder to catch waves. So the Victorias are more forgiving for that, but you're going to put in a little bit more work with the Victoria because they don't carve as hard. So, there's pros and cons to every board, but yeah, I absolutely love this board and I'd love to get one in the carbon soon enough. Shout out to Exile. Great job. What do you reckon? How do you find it?
Yeah, so the EX2, probably not my choice of board. To be honest, I don't really like riding it. It's nothing against the board. The board's an awesome build. It's made well. Nice sharp rails, 5/8 thickness, floats well. It does carry me quite far, but with a suitcase drop, I just can't get this thing down as nicely. And the fishtail I do notice a hell of a lot. So I love a pintail. It was hard to get used to at the start, as Jason said, but the fishtail, you just got that wider turning. For me, I feel like it's a lot wider turning base to get the thing around, just because I'm so light. So for me, I give this a bit of a no. But as far as the board goes, awesome board. It's made well. If you're into a fish and you like to have a bit longer turning span and you're a lighter weight, go for it. But if you're heavier, like Jay said, it turns quite well under his feet, but I just can't get around as well. Only because I'm probably not used to it too. I haven't spent a lot of hours on it, probably, maybe 2 hours of riding on it, but a couple of drops. But yeah, good board, made well, pretty good price point as well. Similar price point to the Poly. Poly is a little bit cheaper, about $100 cheaper, but yeah, great board. Shout out to Blair for his design, because
it is. It's real sweet. Poly lift shape, Victoria.
Lift shape. So I lashed out and bought this not that long ago because I wanted to step up from AK Pro. It is fucking awesome. The density of the carbon, it just is stiff as hell. Yeah. So, but as far as getting used to it at the level I was at, I found it, I was still not capable of riding it. Yeah.
And we do have a lot of wind around here a lot of the time, and it's very hard for Tom to drop that board with any wind at all.
Yeah, so I went for the mid-range, well, it's a pro to intermediate board, the lift shape. This board is by far my favourite one in the quiver. A lot of different colour ranges, pretty cheap price point as well. I think it was $700 for the board. Just got the Let's Party deck traction. This board turns like an absolute weapon. I went a little bit larger. I got a 54 inch, I think this is, just because I wanted a little bit more surface area for float. Also got a 5/8 rail, a little bit thicker, but yeah, by far my favourite board in the quiver. But as far as dropping and stuff, also for me, this is awesome for me with a suitcase drop. I find it super easy to drop. A little bit more weight in it too, so it definitely helps on windy days. I don't really have much struggle anymore. I did at the start, but I'm getting used to it. But yeah, so from Jason's point of view, what do you think about the Poly lift, bro?
Yeah, no, it's a great board all round. It's plenty of rocker in it, which is good, especially if you're a sand dropper like me, because sometimes you get into those humps and you got to go over. I find it very easy, and it glides over well. With the weight, it seems to really, I don't know, even feeling it now, yeah, it tapers down on the tail as well, quite a lot. So it just seems to really glide nice. I find it turns extremely well. At the start I actually had a hard time turning it because I'm so used to the fish. It digs in a bit more. So this slides and just wow. Yeah, it goes real hard. It goes real fast. As a balance key point, once again, it doesn't really, when you move your feet around on the board, it doesn't overly change the balance of the board a whole heap. The rails don't dig in a hell of a lot. They seem to be a bit more rounded than the Exiles, so they stay afloat a little bit more. They're a great board, really good board. To be honest with you, I'm with Tom. This is kind of my favourite board of the quiver, and I want to buy one now. So
it's also non-carbon, so that's why I wanted a mid-range high-end board that wasn't carbon, just so I had weight to drop, because we do get a lot of wind out here in Melbourne. It can be quite shit house on some days, so I needed the weight. I reckon this board in a carbon would be absolutely unreal.
Oh yeah.
But you just need dead windy days, so
yeah,
spend a little bit more on the cash there. But
yeah,
from the both of us, another big thumbs up. So
huge.
Great price point. Shout out Surfs Up. Alright, so the lucky last of our quiver. This is the AK Pro, made by Exile. It is as light as a freaking feather. Unreal design. Shout out to AK for his little rail edges and all the little tiny details in it. It's this thing's made well. Looks cool. I've hit a few rocks on it, but this thing, as far as speed goes, I've started trying a couple of monkey crawls. I'm head over heels trying to try them. But
practice.
Yeah, that's it. The stiffness in this is unbelievable. By that, you get a super responsive board. So when I first started trying it, it was just going, I was going, what the hell is going on here? But when you get this into a water drop and you nail it, this thing just goes and goes and goes. And as far as a turn goes, this thing will throw a turn as quick or as slow or as fast or as whatever you want.
Yeah.
This thing will do it.
Yeah.
Pretty unbelievable board. Again, deck pads, I love my deck pads. I've just absolutely tractioned it out. This board's the highest price point in the quiver. I think they're about just over $1,000, yeah, but for a carbon board, this thing's unbelievable. I always generally ride the Poly E because I can't get this down, but once my monkey crawl comes along, I might see it out a bit more. But yeah, I guess if you've got a standard drop and it's windy, the lightness in this will give you a tough time.
Yeah,
but if you're in a non-windy region, this board is if you can afford it and you've got some skills under your feet, this thing is an absolute sled. Jace, what do you reckon about the...
pretty much everything you just said, mate. Yeah, no, there's not much else I can add. It's nice and wide, which makes it really good for your side planing. to get your feet in the right positions, all that sort of stuff. He's nailed it for distance. He really has. So it's built for speed and distance. Look, it's a good sand dropper, but to be honest with you, I wouldn't waste my money buying this to drop on the sand. I really wouldn't, unless you want a water drop and go for distance. She's built for speed and distance, so...
If you can handle the speed of a sand drop, no worries. These things aren't real.
But if you're riding shorter stuff all the time, yeah, as great as the board is, you just don't need it. But if you're going for that long stuff, oh, 100%, mate. Yeah, no, it's the board to pick.
For me, second choice of board. Non-windy days, I generally try to get this thing out, try to get used to it. But yeah, very responsive board. Pretty hard to ride. But yeah, would buy it if I had the cash float and I had good skills to ride it.
Yeah,
so,
exactly. Yeah.
Hopefully you can pass on a little bit of knowledgeable information if you're in Australia and you're trying to make the right choice on boards. You've either got Exile Australia to buy the Exiles through, or you've got Surf Sail online in Perth. Those guys are awesome. Give them a call or get online and order your board. Get your Victoria from them. So, or your Let's Party Traction Oz, you can get all that. But yeah, as far as that goes, I think that's pretty much everything covered. So
yeah,
keep letting us know what you think of all the content. We've got a couple more tutorials coming soon, a little bit on how to fix your board. We might do some stuff on what we've learned with water dropping and stuff like that eventually soon. So yeah, we'll get our act together. And for now, just keep enjoying the vlogs. Let us know what you reckon and what winter swell coming. So
hopefully get some good shit going on. I'm gonna have to get my ass to try and start practicing some monkey crawls too. So
yeah, let me know in the comments. Get it going.
Get the boogie board out, mate. We'll practice with the boogie board, I reckon. Yeah.
All right. Well, you guys take
my
it
fat
easy.
ass has to, alright? Stop picking on me.
Don't forget to subscribe. Leave us a comment. Let us know what you think. If you've got any questions or anything like that, hit us up on the gram. Join the Facebook group if you want to come out. And yeah, that's all from us. Let's go.
Don't be shy. Don't be shy.